Oh, man. Have I said lately how much I can't stand the Hunter Hearst Helmsley era of WWE? Raw 11/17/25. All the bells and whistles, all the tricks on Helmsley's vicious cycle were in play. Cheap pops, title changes, and brawls. And when it's all said and done, Helmsley is hoping that that's enough to mask a really bad television show of professional wrestling. But no, not on this channel. On this channel, we ain't gonna sugarcoat, we ain't gonna BS. We're gonna call it exactly what it was. Another bad Monday Night Raw. If you think throwing a title on Max Dupree is gonna make me go, whoa, what a moment, whoa, what a show. If you think doing Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns again in 2025, what we saw for 5 straight years with Vince McMahon, and now Helmsley's like, well, I didn't create any new stars the last 3 years, so let me bring back all the part-timers. So a show starts off with nearly a half an hour of part-time John Cena, and it ends with nearly a half hour of Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns, and I'm supposed to go, what? What a show! WWE Raw was amazing! Helmsley brought it! AJ Lee comes back, not to set up, or should I say pick up from the story where it started, the championship match between Becky and AJ Lee, right? That's where the seeds were planted. That's the money match. No, AJ comes back to help Max Dupree win a title so that AJ and Becky can go to WarGames. There's no longer a title on the line for these two. So they'll participate in WarGames, and when that's said and done, they'll just have an exhibition match. How does that make sense? You just teased AJ Becky. AJ hoisted up that IC title after that mixed tag match at the Palooza. But no, cheap pops and title changes, so we gotta give Max Dupree a title just for the pop. We'll give her some pyro, and then hopefully nobody will ask questions afterwards. Wait a second, guys. Max Dupree is now the champion. The problem is she needs 2 weeks to rehearse every match she has. She can't hold a title. This show, Dolph Ziggler was back. If you blink, you missed it. Not Nick Nemeth. No. He suffered the same fate as Zachary Ryder that he suffered on Friday night. We'll talk all about it, man. You thought BC was going to rave about this show? This was a Helmsley Supreme. This was all the bag of tricks from Helmsley. And it all has one thing in common. None of it takes any effort or care. None of it constitutes any actual creative, and none of it takes any thought. Bells and whistles from Helmsley Levesque, the doofus son-in-law. Brawls, title changes, cheap pops. If you would have told me Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar, AJ Lee, Dolph Ziggler, they'll all be on the show tonight, you'd probably say there's no way you could screw it up, right? It's going to be a good show. Everybody's going to be utilized correctly in a fun way. Some memorable moments. And then you see what they actually did with all of them. What am I supposed to do? Rave about this show? You want me to lie to my audience? Fake enthusiasm that is just not there? There is no in-between. There's no gray area. Raw 11/17/25, your amplified review. We're not wasting any more time in this cold open. Let's get to the review. John Cena starts this show dirty, interrupts. Dom Mysterio wants an IC title rematch for the Survivor Series. Cena accepts. Balor and McDougalburger then hit the ring, and the heels attack Cena. Sheamus and 619 for the save, and we get an impromptu 6-man tag match. You guys know BC cannot stand 6-man tags. I can't stand schmaz matches. But following some 619s, bro kicks, attitude adjustments, and even a triple 5-knuckle shuffle, the faces go over. Cena pins Dougalberger. Listen, was this ridiculous? A time filler? Nonsensical? Of course. Check, check, check. All the above. But it was Cena's Raw send-off, so I wasn't expecting a thrilling story thread throughout the night, nor a memorable moment for the next 20 years. I wasn't expecting any of that. Would I have done more than just a Judgment Day ass-kicking? Yes. But it's Helmsley Levesque. Expectations are always at below zero. So it's good to see Cena one last time on the red brand, because trust me, that is going to be a gap that Helmsley just doesn't know how to fill or doesn't care to fill it. There's not enough star power in WWE. And please don't give me the Cody Rhodeses, CM Punk, Sami Zayn's, Jason Yeatermans, because nobody's booked to feel special anymore. That's why you have a show in Madison Square Garden that kicked off the first 20 plus minutes. Guys, how did it kick off? We just went over it. Part-timer John Cena. The first 20 plus minutes of the show, the better part of the first half an hour. And the last 20 plus minutes, the better part of the last half an hour. Who ended the show? A couple more part-timers. Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar. You have nobody in between, and they don't care. As long as they can parade out those part-timers and get that cheap pop, it doesn't matter if it's in a little small town in a flyover state or in Madison Square Garden. From Boston to LA, there's enough fans that are paying for these tickets that are going to show up and they're going to yeet, they're going to dance, they're going to scream, "This is awesome." They're going to scream, "You deserve it" to Max Dupree. There's enough fans to do that, and when you blow enough smoke up Helmsley's ass, he doesn't have to change a damn thing. So yeah, that spot, it's going to be sorely missed when Cena takes off. That was his last red brand appearance. So I tried to accept it for what it was. But absolutely, so much more should have been done. You pumped this up, you hyped it up all week, and you had no real story thread into it. Quickly got the Dominic Mysterio rematch out of the way, and then a random 6-man tag, and you called it a night. It's bad enough that Raw is a chore to get through, but when you watch this garbage as someone who is creative, it's nauseating. It's excruciating to watch this junk, because you know what we could be and should be getting. It was hilarious. Hours before Raw, there was a report that broke. And this report said that WWE is planning something big for John Cena's Raw send-off in MSG. There was a big segment planned for MSG and John Cena. And I couldn't help but laugh because I'm like, do you not understand who is running this company? There are no big plans. What do you think's is John Cena coming out as the Peacemaker? Is he coming out as the Peacemaker? Is he going to promote a film for next year that's coming out early next year? And then like 35 minutes later, Fightful has a report. Oh, Dominic Mysterio is going to get a rematch for Survivor Series, and then there's going to be a 6-man tag. So yeah, most of us were already privy. We already got the spoilers to what was planned for the night. But I couldn't help but laugh. I'm like, yes, that sounds more like Helmsley. There's no big segment planned. You're going to set up some weird match, or in this case, rematch, and then you're going to get to a nonsensical 6-man tag filler. And we'll all just say, thank you, Cena. Moving on. That's my biggest gripe with this. It was what it was. Got to say one last salute to Cena on the red brand. But damn, you hyped this up all throughout the week. You have all this time to do something cool, something special, something memorable, and you just settle. Nikki Bella attacks Steph V at the top of the entranceway. After Nikki Bella attacks Steph V, she grabs a microphone. And Nikki Bella says, and I quote, "I didn't come back to cheer on from the sidelines or be anybody's sidekick. I came back to take what's mine." And she hoists up that championship. This was short to the point, no harm, no foul. I got no gripes. It was a cool visual as Steph's entrance smoke was still going. So she's engulfed in it as Nikki Bella is attacking her and talking all this crap. So at least, listen, bare minimum, right? We're grasping at straws here. We're trying to find any semblance of positivity on this show. That at least was a cool visual. We go to the Cena tournament. Solo Sikoa versus a returning Dolph Ziggler. That's right, Ziggler, not a Nick Nemeth. Ziggler is defeated pretty easily and fairly quickly via a Samoan spike. I hope these mid-card dudes are getting paid really good to come in here and job out because they are pimping themselves out just to get back on that WWE TV. I'm telling you, man. Matt Cardona ditched years of reinventing himself as the indie god, Matt Cardona, saying he'd never go back as Zack Ryder. And then he returned to job out as Zachary Ryder. Nick Nemeth starts a new path in TNA, but comes back for a quick job out as Dolph Ziggler. At least let them have their new, or in these cases, actual names, man. Would it really? It's Madison Square Garden. Most already know the deal. He's Matt Cardona, now just let him be. If he's now Nick Nemeth and you're working with TNA, because NXT is, then I don't understand why for one night they have to be this name, which means going forward, if they do business on the main roster, they will have to stay that name. Ryder already has new merchandise. So these wrestlers, they separate from WWE, they get Das Boot, they say they're on a new path, they're not going back to X, Y, and Z. They say everything's good, we're rocking out, I don't need WWE, and the second they call and throw any amount of cash, they come running. WWE says jump, they say how high. Zachary Ryder, Matthew Cardona, has been begging to get back to WWE for damn years now. 4 or 5 years? Which was hilarious, because as he was begging to get back, he kept saying, "I won't go back as Zack Ryder, though. I think that's done." Woo, woo, woo. All of a sudden, Zack Ryder's visuals pop up. I'm like, this dude did not cave that easily. Tell me he didn't just do that. Dolph Ziggler. I don't know what more to say, man. I'm making more than what was. The match itself was about 4 minutes. I think the review of the match is going longer. Was it cool to see Dolph Ziggler? Sure. It's just weird to BC, right? Like if I'm Nick Nemeth and I get a call from WWE, "Hey, you want to come to the big leagues again, kid? We got a match for you." And you find out what the creative is, right? You probably don't know until 20 minutes before knowing Helmsley. So to their credit, they probably didn't even know. They just accepted. But if they did, could you imagine that conversation? Yeah, listen, we'll bring you in. We're going to make you Dolph again. Or we're going to make you Zachary Ryder again. You're just going to put over some of our talent in about 4 minutes. Is that cool? Just lay flat on your back, look up at the lights. We'll give you a little bit of money, but more importantly, you'll be on that WWE television for a night. And everything you've been working for, you're just like, all right, screw it. Nick who? What the heck's a Nemeth? I don't know what a Matt or a Cardona is. I'd never heard of it. I'm Zack Ryder, and damn it, hit my music. Woo, woo, woo. It's just funny when people, they'll talk a game, but trust me, 99 out of 100, like a Clorox wipe, 99 out of 100 will sell out in a heartbeat. Alexa Bliss, middle of the ring, screaming at the camera, trying to get Charlie Flair to answer her messages, or she's pissed off that she can't get a hold of Charlie Flair. But she knows that Charlie was on the phone because she was posting on her Instagram all the cool things in New York City. So she knows he was on social, but not answering Alexa. So Alexa is upset, and she's almost in tears, talking to the camera like, "You're my bestie." And she looks at the crowd, and she goes, "That's right, I said it's my best friend, Charlotte. And why won't you talk to me?" And it was so sad to see what Helmsley has done to Alexa Bliss. You see what Vince McMahon did. And even when people were like, putting her with Bray Wyatt, what are you doing, Vince? But Vince had a plan and a vision, and Bray Wyatt had a plan and a vision, and it worked. And Vince McMahon wanted to push Alexa Bliss, but it wasn't working for those first couple of years. It just wasn't. So he tried some new stuff, and Bray Wyatt Bray Wyatt kicked it into another gear. And Alexa Bliss became a household name. And now you see what Helmsley has done to her. Big pop at the Royal Rumble in the Chamber, and then just leaves her off big events. Brings her back only to help give that rub. All the fans and how they reacted to Alexa, they wanted that for Charlie. So they threw her into a tag team with Charlie so that Charlie could get cheered. And guess what? For all the fans that show up, the 0 to 12 demo, I call them, who drag their parents out, or just the fans that are willing to accept anything. They just want to show up and participate and start chanting and dancing and eating. It worked with them. And now look at Alexa, right after all of this, just a weird year for her when she was on top of the world when she came back for that Royal Rumble, man. What a pop. And then you look at her like trying to, almost in tears because Charlotte won't talk to her. You know, it's interesting because Nia Jax, Lash Legend, Asuka, and Kairi came to the ring. And Nia had a mic. And Nia says, and I quote, "What has happened to the great Alexa Bliss? Standing all alone, looking pathetic in her little sparkling pants." Oh, man. It was so eye-opening because this is the first time Nia said something and I could not have agreed more. Because I was thinking the same thing. As a supporter of Bliss, ever since she's been with Wyatt, and her return, I can't believe that this is the Alexa Bliss. This is what they chose to do. She cannot be any more average right now. And with Vince and with Bray, she was anything but. But with Helmsley, everybody seems and feels average because that's how he books them. Unless you're handpicked by him, then he'll try to put you on another level, but it's usually individuals we don't want, so they don't actually do anything on that next level. I.e., Yeaterman, Charlie, among others. So yeah, Nia Jax just saying what we were all thinking. What has happened to the great Alexa Bliss, standing all alone, looking pathetic in her little sparkling pants? Even Alexa kind of looked down at her pants and she's like, like, I like these pants, but maybe you're right. What happened? I was once feared and I was a badass. And now I'm in sparkling pants begging for my bestie to just answer a message or two. So bad, man. So bad. The heels attack Bliss. Io and Rhea hit the ring and they all start, ready for this? This is what Helmsley does. Brawl! They brawled, guys, because it's WarGames. And this match really got thrown together last week. And WarGames Survivor Series is only in a week or two. So you don't have any time. So Helmsley's just going to go with the easiest thing, right? Because he doesn't get creative and he doesn't have the time anyway. So, brawl! Everybody just go out there and brawl! And then Charlie Flair actually comes out. She hits the ring with a kendo stick. They're like, listen, New York will pop more if you go to with a kendo stick. Yeah. Just start swinging it. Yeah. They do it on the New York streets all the time, man. Just brawl. Yeah, go out with a kendo stick. So Charlie's running out there with a kendo stick, whooping it at everybody. And when she's done taking out the heels, she picks up Alexa and they like hug it out and they're looking at each other like, we're buddies again. We're friends. Besties. And I'm like, wait, you just walked out Friday. That was only 3 nights ago. And then even worse, she looks over at Io and Rhea. Well, by the way, we're on the other side of the ring, and Io is holding on to Rhea like it's her mommy, and she's like a little, like a step kid. Like, the way that Io is holding Rhea was so awkward. Like, what is Io doing, man? One of the best wrestlers on the planet. I love Io. I do. But please, like, stop acting like you're the biggest sissy pants in the world. She's clinging to Rhea like, oh, my God, mommy. No, that's Chicken Nuggets' mommy. Not yours, Io. That was weird, too, because then you got Alexa and Charlie, like, squeezing each other, like, holding each other, like, friends again? Yes, friends again. So they're hugging it out. You got Io holding on tight to Rhea Ripley. No, mommy, don't go! The whole thing was weird. What are we doing? And Charlie just gives a head nod, like, all right, I'm in, WarGames. Wait, what happened here? You just walked out on Friday night. That was 3 nights ago. So, much like McIntyre's suspension, this was only a temporary walk away. Just changed my mind. Drew McIntyre is suspended. We're all like, whoa, this could be a big story. Could Helmsley be telling a story finally? No, it's just Drew McIntyre has to go film some stuff, so they gave him some time off. But they couldn't even get that right. So 7 days later, Drew McIntyre is no longer suspended, and he's in WarGames. What happened to the suspension? Charlie walks out. You're thinking, oh, could this be a storyline? Like, could something be happening? Nope. Just wait 3 nights, and Charlie's going to come out on Raw and just go, JK, I'm in, guys, with my kendo stick. This is Helmsley's, quote, genius. This is the guy who they say is going to save wrestling and help save everything that Vince ruined in his final years. Helmsley will help it. Yeah, this is riveting. Absolutely riveting. I'd like to tell you it gets somewhat better, but listen to this one. Max Dupree versus Becky Lynch for the IC Championship was next. Max Dupree defeats Becky Lynch to become new IC Women's Champion. They used AJ Lee as a crutch, popped the crowd with AJ right into a pinfall, a trick as old as time. Max hits a horrible crossbody, and that's all it took to defeat Lynch. Becky had so much momentum this year, and now she is cooked. There is no way on earth she can be taken seriously now, and that is sad because you guys know this year I've been very high on Becky Lynch. And over the years, Becky Lynch has gone to war with some of the best in this industry. Whether it's a Sasha Banks, you could throw your Charlie Flairs in there. Doesn't matter if it was an Io and Asuka. But she can't beat Max Dupree. This is her 3rd straight loss to Max Dupree. Countouts, DQs, and straight pinfalls. You name it. And it's not even just losing to Max Dupree 3 times. That's bad enough. But the way she's losing, it's just like... Just to get Max's offense because she rehearses 2 weeks every match. That's no joke. That's a real thing, guys. Max Dupree has to rehearse weeks for every match that she has because she just isn't getting this wrestling thing fast enough. So while everybody is praising, she's getting a little better, guys, right? And BC's supposed to follow suit and say the same thing. No. Instead, I'm going to tell you the truth. She's not getting it. She's not getting it fast enough, and it's no longer fair to anybody. So now you have somebody like Becky Lynch in there who has to look like an absolute tool, a clown, a joke, an idiot, just to try to make Max look good. So she's in there getting spin kicks, drop kick to her knees, because Max Dupree can't hit a drop kick. So it hits her knees. Horrible crossbodies that take 16 years just to set up. And Becky Lynch, that's how Becky Lynch looks. So no, it's so sad to say that there's no way you can take Becky Lynch seriously going forward, bro. And they're putting her and AJ into WarGames, by the way. That was set up last night. As of this recording, an hour ago. But that was set up because Rhea Ripley asked AJ if they could talk for a minute backstage. So you knew where this was going. Title off of Becky. And Becky and AJ will then go to WarGames. Well, why can't Becky have a championship? Is that too much to ask? If Becky just keeps her title? Because, guys, get Maxine out of the equation for a second. We'll circle back to her. But as for AJ Lee, that was the IC title match, was it not? Lee versus Lynch, it was already teased. Seeds were planted already. And the dumbass doofus son-in-law walks into the creative meeting and just shouts out, "Durr, Maxine!" And the creative writers, and I'll use that loosely, they were like, I'm sorry, Paul, what? We're just going over AJ and Becky's title feud. What did you say? Durr, Maxine! Paul, we don't know what you're saying, man. We're doing AJ Lee and her getting the title from Becky. We're trying to set up that whole thing. We just don't know if we want to propel it from Royal Rumble, do it at the Rumble. Can we string it out to Mania? No. Paul, what are you saying? No. Durr, Maxine! You want Maxine to win the title? Pretty convinced that's the way it works. You saw the show Unreal when Helmsley walked into the meeting and he asked everybody, who do you guys have winning the Rumble? What do you guys think about the winner of the Rumble? And they all said, CM Punk, obviously. I mean, that's CM Punk. Because you said you didn't want Cena winning the Rumble, so it's got to be Punk, right? Because Punk is going to take on Gunther, and you saw on the show Unreal, Paul Levesque McMahon goes, I'm thinking Jey Uso. I think I can make the Yeet thing something cool. What are you talking about? Because then you're going to have Jey Uso versus Gunther for the 16th time. We already saw that for the IC title, and we just saw it on Saturday night's main event before the Rumble. So you can't have Yeeterman. He's a mid-carder. Just because they dance? But that's what he did. He walked into the damn meeting and he just goes, "Durr, Jey Uso." So yeah, I'm convinced that that's how it works. Everybody was already thinking AJ Lee and Becky. And the doofus son-in-law walks in and he wants to shake it up. Because that's his version of shaking it up. Max Dupree. AJ Lee and Becky Lynch was the match, man. You can't put them in WarGames and Becky have a title? Is that... You could use WarGames to help elevate the feud. You've already had them in mixed tag with their significant others. Then they go into WarGames. One thing we haven't seen yet is them two one-on-one. You put the strap on the line? Oh, hell yeah. That's a title match. AJ Lee, Becky Lynch. No, you know what we got? In the middle of a Raw, because they knew they couldn't get away with this shit at the end. There's no way this was a main event. In the middle of a Raw, they had Max Dupree defeat Becky Lynch and become champion. And everybody's going to mark out and go, "Oh, she deserves it. She's worked so hard. Basically, can't you just be happy Max Dupree's your IC title holder?" As ratings are in the toilet, and everybody is wondering why wrestling doesn't have that spark right now, why there's that void, why is wrestling hurting right now, right? We're all thinking the same thing, but I have the answers. Look no further than decisions like this. Ratings are in the toilet, merchandise sales, ticket sales, everything is in the toilet. But Maxine Dupree is winning the IC championship. And nobody stops to think, well, okay, hold on. She has to rehearse for at least 2 weeks for every match that she has. But she's our champion now. How does that work? Well, don't worry. With Hunter Hearst Helmsley, champions just go directly to catering half the time anyway. So this could be her ticket to just get off the show for a minute, and maybe that's best for everybody. Go rehearse for your next match that maybe we'll get at Saturday night's main event in January. Another botch by Helmsley. AJ Lee and Becky Lynch for the championship. That's what we were waiting for. We were just waiting for AJ to come back. Well, guess what? She did. She came back tonight, and Becky's still champ. But when it was all said and done, AJ just helped Maxine get the title so that Becky and AJ can be in this stupid WarGames match. Dumb, stupid, idiotic. Wait, did we just describe doofus son-in-law? Maxi Pad is just a lengthy, awkward individual. She's just not a wrestler. It takes weeks of rehearsing every time she has a match. You can't always wrestle with training wheels on, because then you start making everyone else around you look as bad as you. Again, if you were ever wondering how ratings got so low and how WWE got so bad, just look at a moment like this. Oh, and she got the pyro too. Chelsea Green didn't even get pyro, by the way. That was another Helmsley gem, wasn't it? A heel versus a heel. And the heel used the ropes to roll up and pin the other heel. Chelsea over Julia. And then Julia wasn't even on this past Friday's show. That will just keep her off TV. That's brilliant. And Chelsea runs through the crowd, no pyro. Hey, Max Dupree wins a title, has pyro. Max Dupree is on top of the women's division. Awesome. Who cares? Who cares what type of talent you have? Who cares? Doesn't even matter anymore, man. We're just throwing championships on anybody. Doesn't even matter. 2025 under Helmsley. Jason Uso. Jay Yeaterman is your world champion after he beat Gunther in 8 seconds to his own move. Yeaterman is walking around with a championship in 2025. Was. And now Max Dupree walking around with a title. Why not at this point, right? Get numbers so low that the only thing left to do is just sell the company, make your final bank, and get out of the way. And then we just have to see what Saudi does with this company. Cena tournament. Gunther returns and taps out Javon Bouncy Evans. Evans kicks out of a Gunther bomb, by the way, and he lasts longer than Gunther did at Mania to Uso. Gunther had the choke on, and Javon Evans would just not tap out because they want to show you that the kid's got heart, right? He just won't give up. So they had him kick out of a Gunther bomb. Javon Evans weighs what, a $112 soaking wet? Kicks out of a Gunther bomb and refuses to tap out for 3 minutes. But yet Gunther tapped out in 8 seconds to his own move to Jason Yeaterman. This is what I mean. Inconsistent booking. If Jey Uso tools on Gunther and even beats him in 8 seconds, Jey Uso. And then if Javon Evans tools on Gunther and nearly beats him 12 times in this match, then guess what? Gunther just isn't special. And that's what Helmsley has done to Gunther. He has made him so much the opposite of special. He has found a way to make Gunther average. MSG was chanting Walter tonight. They don't even care about Gunther anymore. And then we got the WarGames Brawl to end the show, the final segment of the night. Now, we already knew that Brock Lesnar was going to be at MSG to help set up the WarGames match. He was going to be added. We already knew that Roman Reigns was going to be at MSG to be added to this WarGames match. So we already knew for a full week. Helmsley knew longer than a week. So while we know not to expect anything good, because it is Helmsley, we were at least expecting something a little more, right? Because they did have a lot of time to do something special. You're hoping it's not just going to be a brawl. Everybody just go out and brawl, because that takes no creative at all from Helmsley. It takes no thinking. It takes no resources. It takes nothing. No time, no energy. But that's Helmsley, so that's exactly what we got. Everybody came out, everybody brawled. Brock Lesnar came out as one of the last two with his own entrance, started whooping Cody Rhodes and CM Punk's ass, and then Roman Reigns comes out with a stupid new theme song. I can't stand this one. I want the original version back. This one absolutely sucks. It's time somebody just calls it out and says it. This theme song sucks. His original, that's the one we need back. So Roman comes back. He looks like he has not been in the gym for a few months, so hopefully Roman is good. But yeah, he looked a lot slimmed down. He even has, one of his arms had It looked like he was wearing, one side has a long sleeve and the other was a short sleeve, but maybe it was just a compression sleeve. So maybe, hopefully he didn't get injured recently at the gym and that kept him out. But he definitely looks slimmed down. Much smaller. One side, again, a sleeve. The other side, he just looked weird coming down. He didn't look like a badass. He looked like he was going shopping, at the local Piggly Wiggly. Not to go fight Brock Lesnar. It was just very odd. It didn't seem like an energetic, amplified Roman Reigns. But anyway, he jumps in there. So then, you end the show. This is exactly what happened, man. Everybody else is knocked out outside somehow. Everyone's playing dead so that Roman and Brock can have their time. And guys, that's the final moments, is Roman staring down Brock Lesnar and vice versa. Helmsley's grand idea to end the Madison Square Garden Raw was just to redo what Vince McMahon did for 5 straight years. Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns. This is what we saw for years. And it was, you think BC is going to rave about this? At the end of 2025, we're still getting the same two? The only difference is now both are full part-timers? This is what you're resorting to? Brock and Roman again in 2025? To carry the stupid WarGames match? So that's how the match ended, man. Another brawl to set up the men's WarGames match, if anybody cares. There you go. And NYPD, they tried to make it look like NYPD was breaking up the brawl because the brawl was so badass. It wasn't. It was a normal brawl like we always see. But they brought in some independent wrestlers to look like NYPD. And a couple of them got speared through the barricade. Roman hit a spear, Braun Breaker, somebody. And some NYPD also got speared. The only problem is, if you look at them, they had no badges or anything. They didn't even look like mall cops. This is what I mean. They don't even put the effort into making the cops look like cops. We're not asking you to put on a full police belt with all the equipment. But we're just asking, can you make it look a little more real? No? Of course not. That takes time. That was Raw, 11/17/25. That's the most honest review you're going to get. Everybody, I'm telling you, everybody's going to rave about this Raw because Helmsley did all of his tricks. All of them, right? Aside from maybe a face and a heel turn, he had brawls, title changes, cheap pops. Bring back all the part-timers. Bring back a bunch of nostalgia acts, and when you do that, everything else gets hidden. Hide the weaknesses, right? And there is the old saying, play to your strengths, hide your weaknesses. The problem is all these part-timers eventually are going to have to become no more timers. Not going to be able to do this that much longer. So what strengths will you be playing to? It'll just be a company full of weaknesses. Good luck hiding them then. Until next time, and there will be that next time. BC, saying check you, unit, salute.